Hey everybody, well, it's modeling time again. We're going to be doing a video in Maya, which is not a big surprise, I guess, but we're going to continue in the automotive series, and today we're going to do a spoked wheel. Now, one of those wheels you see on dragsters or like classic cars, right? Here we go. This video has been made possible by BENQ. If you're a digital artist in need of a professional grade monitor, then check out BENQ.com. Alright everybody, well as you can see we're in Maya 2020 and we're going to do a spoked wheel today, or a wheel with spokes, whatever you want to call it, right? Now you see these on the front wheels of dragsters, you see them on vintage old cars, and obviously you see them on motorcycles, but we're going to focus on car tires this time because there's a big difference between motorcycle wheels that are spoked and car wheels that are spoked, right? So, yeah, let's start with that. We're going to take a polygon cylinder. We're going to open up the attribute editor. We're going to set the subdivision level to 40, which is fine. We'll set caps to 0. There you go. And then we're going to go in here. We're going to remove those faces. So get rid of the top one, get rid of the bottom one, and then go to object mode. E to rotate, hold down J, flip it over like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit R and we're going to push that in to, I would say, about there. All right. And then we're going to start to shape the rim of the wheel, right? First, I'm going to reverse these faces. I'm going to go to object mode, actually to face mode, sorry. Drag select them. Let's go up to reverse. There you go. So now they're on the inside. And then we're going to go into edge mode, double click and shift double click, and I'll hit 4 so you can see it better, yeah? And what we're going to do is we're going to hit extrude. We'll give it some thickness. And let's go out like this. Yeah, 0.1 should be fine. Let's hit enter. I'm going to hit 5 again so you can see it. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to extrude again. We'll hit R. Kind of pull that out like this. All right. And then G to repeat. And we're going to hit R and we're going to flare it out like this a little bit. Okay. Now, if we now go in here and we hit 3 to preview smooth, you'll get something like this, which is fine. Yeah. Hit 1 to go back. What I do want to do though is go in here to edge, double click on this one and shift double click on that one, extrude and hit R and pull that in very, very slightly. Just so we get a little edge there, right? So now if we hit 3, you'll get something looking like this if we get in close. Yeah. Right, so that looks fine so far. If you want a harder edge in here, what we'll do is we'll hit 1 to go in. We'll go into edge, double click, shift, double click. We're gonna bevel that. Let's do 0.03, maybe a bit more. Let's try 0.1, let's see. 0.1, not bad. Okay, we're gonna go in here, we're gonna hit 3 to smooth that out, like so. Not bad again, there you go. And now we can start to focus on the hub, okay? Now that's a whole different story. So it's basically multiple steps in an object. And actually I think while we're at it, we're just gonna put on the tire first, just to make it look a bit cooler, right? Let's do that. So what we'll do is we'll take a polygon torus, E to rotate, hold on J, flip it up like so. Control A to open up the attribute editor. Let's set the subdivision level to 40 by 40. There you go. We're going to set the section radius to 0.1. And we probably need to adjust that, but we'll see. We'll hit R to scale that out. Okay. And then what we need to do is we need to kind of figure out where it needs to be positioned, right? So we're going to go in here. We're going to hit 4 for wireframe mode. And we're going to go to the inside here, right click, go to face, and let's just hide this guy for a sec. So this is the guy we got. We're going to right click and let's see how I can best select what I want. That's a bit easier to see, yeah. We're going to go to face, we're going to click and double click and then click and double click. And then we're going to hit shift period or shift point to increase that selection. I would say to about there. And then we're going to delete that and then we're going to go to display and show all to get that back. All right, and what we're going to do here is we're going to take this guy in object mode, right, and we're going to make it slightly thinner. Let's bring it in a bit. That looks fine. This guy, we're going to need to smooth that as well, but before we do so, we're going to put in a little pattern, right? So what I want to do here is go in to this edge right there, all right, and then this edge right there, all right, and what we're going to do is we're going to hit R, and we're going to push them in a little bit, like so. And then we're going to go back to the middle here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to face mode, and again I want to make sure that I'm perfectly centered, so I'll do it from here because I got this guy running in. So we'll do this one, and we'll do that one, and then we'll do one here, and we'll do one here. All right, we're going to extrude. We're going to bring that in, and let's not go crazy on that. Let's try minus 0.02. Let's see what that looks like. Let me do a preview smooth. Hit 3. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, cool. All right, so now that we have that, we need to deal with the hub. Now, I might want to make the whole thing a bit thicker now that they're both aligned. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and group this, all right? And then we're going to hit R, and we're going to kind of stretch it out and give it a bit more thickness. Okay, now this has not been smoothed out just yet, so we're going to go to Mesh and Smooth. This is by no means a low poly mesh. It's actually a high poly mesh, but that's fine. And yeah, looks okay. So now we can go and look at the hub. Now for the hub, what we're going to do is we're going to take another polygon cylinder, E to rotate, hold on J, flip it on its side, we're going to hit R, we're going to scale it down, and let's have a look here. That would be about right for half of it, and you're probably wondering what I mean, but you'll find out in a minute. We're just going to drag select these faces, get rid of them. All right. Then we're going to make sure that we are on the inside of the wheel. So we're going to hit F to frame for wireframe mode. Let's go into object mode and push that in to about there, I would say. Yeah. Then what we're going to do is we're going to insert edge loop. Let's go to multiple and 1. And as we do so, we now have one in the middle right there. We're going to Q on our keyboard. We're going to right click on a face, click and shift double click. And what we're going to do next is we are going to extrude that and give that some thickness. Oh, this guy right here. Yeah, okay. So that would be about right, I would say. Yeah, that's fine. And then we're going to go in here to edge this guy. We're going to W, we're going to pull this out a little bit. Then we're going to go to mesh and fill hole, and as we don't want any n-gons, we're going to go in to poke. There you go. All right, and that will give us that will get rid of the n-gons, right? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into edge. We're going to double click on this guy, and this guy. We're going to bevel that. Let's do 0.25. Looks about right. Sections, let's do 3. That looks fine as well. And then we're going to go in here and hit 3 to preview smooth, and we'll have something like this. Now that's a bit too round for my taste, so let's go back a little bit. And let's bevel that again, and let's try 0.1 with 3 sections, and there you go. And then we'll hit 3 and see what we got. Looks a lot better, with the exception of that edge on the back there, because that is smooth and we don't want that. So let's try to bevel this as well. 0.1. and 3 on the segments, and go in here. I need 3 to preview smooth. All right, looks better. So we're going to go to mesh and smooth to actually smooth. And there you go. And now we can hit 1 to go back. And if you don't like the way this looks, and I don't like the way this looks, yeah, what we can do here is go into face. I'm going to hold in the tab key, get rid of these, delete, oops, not inverted, yeah, tab key, select these. So what we'll do is we'll increase that selection, and hit delete. And then we're going to go in here, right click the edge, we're going to double click, Control E to extrude. Let's tweak that offset, not the offset, actually a little bit of the offset. Let's try 0.1. Yeah, we'll put a little design in there. It's kind of cool. Okay, so we're going to hit G to repeat. We're going to hit W to push that in like so, and then the G to repeat, R to pull in, G to repeat, W to push out, and a G to repeat and R to scale in like so. And then we can go to mesh and fill hole, and then we can go in here to face mode and go to edit mesh and poke. There you go. Right, let's do a quick check on what it looks like smooth out. You can go there if you want. If you don't, we'll bevel this again, but this time we'll go in, click that and that and that. Just bevel that, and let's do 0.01. Okay, so we'll get a fairly hard edge there. 3. There you go. So that guy, I'm happy with it. Let's go to mesh and smooth to actually smooth it. Okay, so we're gonna hit 1 to go back. There you go. Now we need to position this guy properly. So we're gonna go and hit F to frame in. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, good. Alrighty, so it's spoke time. Now, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna create a pattern, obviously, and it's gonna be a crossed pattern. And there's going to be a little angle at the end there, and I'll explain that in a second so you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, let's create some spokes here. So we're going to take a polygon cylinder, we're going to hit R, we're going to scale that way in. Then let's scale it up a little bit. And what I'm going for here is kind of a rough indication of the diameter of the spoke, right? So let's pull this up, after frame. And keep in mind, it's not for a bicycle, it's for a car, right? So let's bring it in a little bit more. That would be about right, yeah. And now we need to position it, maybe a bit more. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to create a cross pattern, right? So I'm gonna right click, go up here to vertex, drags like this, and I'm gonna hit W to move it and hold down V, right? And I'm gonna snap that over there. And then I'm going to snap this down here, maybe one further, like so. That's pretty good. Not sold on the thickness just yet, but let's have a look. So from that point of view, that would be okay. Now, this is a very important view. We're going to hit F to frame. What we want is for this to be in the center of the hub, right? So this right here, hit W. We're going to hold down a V. Snap it over there, grab this, and we're gonna not put that on the middle. We're gonna go to, I would say, about there. Actually, based on the fact that we got 2 of these, no, we're gonna go over here, like that. Let's have a visual check here, after frame. That's fine, yeah, okay. And then it's important when we do the first one because it's gonna be a repetitive process, so pull that up, yeah, there you go. Then what we're going to do is we're going to jump back here and we're basically going to reverse this guy, okay? So we're going to Control D to duplicate, E to rotate, hold down J and flip it like so. All right, so now you should have 2 spokes crossing each other and we need to align them, right? So the angle, the rotation angle is off, so we need to bring that in. And we need to have, and I'll actually do that manually. we'll need to have this guy right here. Go to vertex, yeah. Hit W to move that, hold down V. Snap that to the top. And then we'll take this and we'll hold down the V. And let me just align that, right? Let's clean that up a little bit. So we're gonna hit rotate. We're gonna hold down J. There you go. And then we'll hit W, we'll hold down V. And then we'll take this guy. And it's a bit finicky, but you know, you basically only have to do this once. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we got. Whether they are crossing properly and so forth. Now I'm happy with the top position on this guy. Now we need to move it over. All right, so we're gonna right click, go to vertex. We're gonna hold down V. And I think this is fine. I would say it is, yeah. Let's have a final check. Okay, that needs to come in a bit, as you can see. And we need to go to, double click here. We're gonna go to world mode. And let's bring that in here. And we don't want those spokes to touch each other, and I don't think they are. And they got equal distance from both sides, and on the top there, they're centered. So that's good. So we're gonna select these two. We're gonna go to mesh and combine. Let's go to modify and center pivot. There you go. We're gonna jump to this view. All right. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna move the pivot point to the center. So hit the insert key. We're gonna hold down V and we're gonna move it to the center like so. Hit the insert key again. Control D to duplicate. E to rotate, hold down J. All right, so we've got one pattern here. And then we're gonna hit Shift D to go around, and that should turn out perfectly symmetrical, and it does, which is fine. All right, so now that we have that, we need to concentrate on this row right here, because we're gonna have an additional set of spokes, basically doing the same thing, right? So of course, we're gonna borrow one of these sets right here. Let's hit Control D to duplicate, W to move it out. And we're just gonna move this down here. And we want these longer spokes to not be aligned with that right there. So what I'm gonna do first is bring it back into position. And we're gonna hit E and rotate it to approximately there, I would say, yeah? That's gonna be our starting point. So from there, what we want to do is basically be up here inside this rim with the spokes and have them come to that position, right? Okay, so we need to rotate this guy vertically, rotate it vertically, yeah. And I think this is my best viewpoint. And I might need to do this manually, could be. Most likely. So let me do that. And we're gonna tweak the bottom end anyway, but that's looking good. Looks like it's centered. Yeah, it's fine. And then what we need to do is extend these down so they're connected here. And that again is kind of a finicky process, but we'll see. Okay, gonna go to vertex here. And I'm gonna hit W to move it. I'm gonna hold down V and go to about there. And of course, I'm gonna be adjusting that. I think that looks pretty good. And let's position them correctly because they need to be over there to, I would say, approximately here. Let's have a look. Let's have that come down just a little bit. So let's bring that inside like that. Okay, let's check that again. I think that looks fine. All right, we're gonna go in here, we're gonna go to object mode, we're gonna go to mesh and combine, we're gonna go to delete by type history, modify center pivot, and then we're gonna move that guy down from a, and let me just clean that up a little bit. So we're gonna go in here, we're gonna go into vertex mode. Let's take this and this, and let's see if we can see any of that. That's looking fine. Now they are touching each other, so we need to fix that. And I wasn't aware, otherwise I wouldn't combine it. Let's go to separate, yeah. So let's right click at a vertex, drag select. We're gonna move that out to, I would say, about there. And we'll take this guy, vertex, and move that out to about there, to a point where they're not touching. Okay, perfect. And this guy will push down just a little bit. All right. So now that we have that set going on, what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to go to 1 and 2, and I'm just looking at the overall space there. Mesh combine. What's the problem? Object mode. Mesh combine, there you go. We're going to hit the insert key, we're going to move that pivot point again, so hold down the V and snap it down here like so. Hit the insert key again. We're going to control D to duplicate, E to rotate, and what we're going to do is we're going to hold down J, and let's see if that will pan out for us, and it looks like it does. And then we're going to hit Shift D and work our way around. All right, so now we have a spoked wheel, but we need to make sure that that is aligned properly, right? So what we're going to do now is we are going to drag select all of this, basically, which is everything, yeah? And then we're going to hit a group, Control G to group. I'm going to go to this view, I'm going to hit 4 for wireframe mode, F to frame that, and let's see if we are centered out. Hit W. We're gonna hold down X, and then this guy, same deal, and then this guy, and it all should align based on the workflow so far, but there you go. Okay, now what I'm going to do for those of you who have KeyShot, stick around and I'll show you guys how I put some material on this in KeyShot. So I'm going to do a color ID mask. I want this to be rubber, so I'm going to right click, assign new material. Let's do a Lambert. Doesn't really matter what material, as long as you got a material. Let's go in there and put some color on it. This is going to be a certain material as well as this, I would say, so we'll go and assign new material as well. Again, a Lambert, and just take any color. And then we have these spokes. They are gray, which is already a material, so we'll leave it at that, right? We're going to go to object mode. We're going to drag select everything. Let's go to edit, delete by type history, modify, freeze transformation, and yeah, we're good. We're going to go to File, we're going to go to Export Selection, and I'll save it on my desktop as a spoked wheel. Here we go. Alright, well there you go. Here's our spoked wheel. Of course the texture is very basic, you know, just something that I slapped on, but just to give you an idea what it could look like, alright? So yeah, hopefully the video was helpful. If it was, please hit the like button. If you are not subscribed and you don't want to miss out on future videos, please do so, right? Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.